Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I'm a homeschool mom to 3, and today I'm going to be giving you a fall homeschool update. So I wanted to kind of check in and let you know about some changes we've made, things that we've stuck with, how our year is going so far. So we began our year the middle of August, and we've been going really strong. We've had a couple weekends, long weekends in a row of camping trips. So we've done a little bit less school those 2 weeks in September, but so far our year is going really well. We have, however, made quite a few changes, some of them because curriculum wasn't working or not the best fit for our current season of life, and other reasons not because of the curriculum but just wanting something different. If you don't know, I actually made a video about a month ago or so, and it was all about master books and Simply K. So Simply K was the program I chose for my son this year. He is 4.5, he'll be 5 in December. Now, just a little bit of a backstory. Last year we used Playing Preschool from the Busy Toddler, and it was all a play and activity-based preschool learning method. He learned a ton. We had a ton of fun. He loved school. We did school on the weekends because he wanted to. Like, he could not get enough of school. And so we had a really, really great year last year with Playing Preschool. This year, I wanted to kind of ease him into that transition of more kind of traditional book work, but still in a gentle way. And so when I found Simply K, I thought it would be perfect for him because it is a very gentle approach. However, the problem that we were having is my son is not the kind of kid that likes to sit still and listen to a lot of reading. And like, he can listen to a picture book or two and be fine, but I feel like Simply K is full of Bible stories and character lessons and a lot of reading that he just wasn't all that interested in. I also felt like the lessons were a little bit long, at least for us trying to get through it. It was taking quite a bit of time, and he was just not really into it. My first impressions of Simply K was that it was going to have a lot of activities in it. However, from doing it for a few weeks, I found that the activities were very few and far between. There weren't as many activities, at least comparing it to what he was used to from last year. I found myself having to encourage him and kind of like, okay, well, let's go do school. And I found that he was coming to me asking if we had to do school today and that sort of thing. And that kind of made me stop in my tracks because he was always the kid that loved school last year and like wanted school and was excited when it was a school day. And so for him to kind of do that flip, I knew, this is not working. This is not what I want. I want him to love learning. There is going to be plenty of time where he has to sit down in his seat and do his work and do things that he may not love as much. And so I don't want to start that off in his pre-K, kindergarten, first grade years. I want that to be a time where he loves learning and he should enjoy school because it's kindergarten and preschool. Like, he shouldn't not like to do school at this point in his life. So I sat him down and I had a really candid heart-to-heart with him, and he almost was in tears and just said, Mom, I just miss all of the activity. I miss the letter hunts. I miss the activities that we used to do, and our new school hardly has any activities, and he just missed like all the aspects of Playing Preschool. And so the next morning, I did a letter hunt for him, which is an activity that's found in Playing Preschool, and he completely lit up. He had the most fun that day. He loved the letter hunt, and he had the biggest smile, and that right there was enough for me to just immediately hop onto the Busy Toddler's website and order year 2 of Playing Preschool. So if you're not familiar with Playing Preschool, she does have a year 1 and a year 2, and year 2 builds upon the skills in year 1. So you want to start with year 1 regardless of your child's age, and then build into year 2. And so I did a little bit of research on year 2, and I talked to some moms who have used year 2 from the Playing Preschool Facebook group, which was very helpful because I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be like a repeat of last year and that it truly was building into those skills. So I immediately ordered the Playing Preschool year 2. I printed it all out that weekend and bound it and put it all together in a binder, and quickly went to the library and got the books we needed, and we started fresh that Monday with Playing Preschool year 2 and had a blast. And I saw it switch. Like, he wanted to do school. He was excited to do school again. And that is what was most important to me. So, in conclusion, no, I do not think Masterbooks Simply K is a bad program. I just feel like it's just not the right fit for us at this time. This may be a program that we may use next year when he's a little bit more mature. For this year, it just wasn't working well for us. Math K from Masterbooks that we're using, we still are using because the math I find is so fun for him. He really likes the math. It's very focused on critical thinking skills, and it's a lot of fun, like spot the difference puzzles and patterns and counting and just fun activities. And we fly through a couple of those lessons a day. Like, he really, really likes Math K. So we're continuing with Math K alongside Playing Preschool, and it's working out really, really well. It's a really good balance. We also use letters and numbers from Gather Round. We started with that last year, and so we kind of continued it into this year. And so on the days that we do Playing Preschool and he's wanting more, we will add in a lesson of letters and numbers. He seems to really like letters and numbers. Again, there is a little bit of reading, but it's not super extensive, and usually I can kind of get through it quickly with him. And I really like the approach that they have with the whole themed units and information. Like, it's kind of like they're getting a science lessons at the same time, and I think that's really cool. So I really like letters and numbers, and we do mix that in when we can. Okay, so moving on to changes that we've made with my daughters. So we started the year with Masterbooks Language Arts and The Good and the Beautiful Math. And we did The Good and the Beautiful Math last year. They've recently updated their math curriculum, so this is the new version this year, and it has a video aspect. We were doing Math 4 from The Good and the Beautiful, and we did quite a few lessons in there, and we're really liking it in the beginning. I loved the video lessons because I felt like it took a little bit off of my plate as far as explaining things. The videos are very engaging and practical, and I really thought that they were beautifully done. And then she would do the independent practice. So the decision to drop The Good and the Beautiful Math was not my decision. It was Lacey's decision. She chose Masterbooks Math Lessons for Living Education over The Good and the Beautiful. So originally I had purchased Masterbooks Math to use with her this year, and then decided to stick with The Good and the Beautiful. So we had both on hand, and she decided that she really wasn't a fan of the videos in the math, which surprised me. And so also we found that there was a lot to it. There were at least 2 pages of practice problems for her to do. It took her a while to get through them, and I think she was kind of just burnt out by the time the lesson was finished. We picked up Math Lessons for Living Education, and that's what she's been using, and she's been loving it. She loves that it's straight to the point, like there's a blurb about the concept and then a page to do. And it's really quick and simple, and so I think that she really likes that. She doesn't love to spend a ton of time on her required schoolwork, so that's what we've been doing for math. It's working really well for her at this time. And then also with language arts, I did make a switch for language arts. We started the year using Language Lessons for Living Education from Masterbooks. I love it. I love how simple and to the point it is. I love the Bible storybook that goes along with it. It was really working well, and the reason that I switched was not because it was a bad program. It was not because we didn't like it. We actually did really like it, but I wanted something more meaty for her. I wanted something literature based for her. For this particular child, I just felt like she needed more literature. She needed to be exposed to more reading, more book, diverse selection of books, and so I found Lightning Literature. And I had been eyeing it for a while and then decided just to jump in with it. And so we got Lightning Literature grade 4, and we're a couple weeks in, currently working through our first book, almost finished with it. Maybe finished with it by the time this video goes up, and then we'll be moving on to the second book. But what I like about Lightning Literature is that it's very easy to use. You read the books, it gives you a certain number of pages or a certain chapter to read. You read the books. We've been doing them kind of like a read aloud, where I'll either read it to her or we'll take turns reading. She'll read some, I'll read some, and it's kind of like, we really like doing read alouds. So this is kind of right up what we like to do. We like that time together of reading together, and she really enjoys being read to. And so this was kind of like, it's a fun moment of our day to just sit there and read with each other. And then the grammar lessons and language lessons are all based on the book. So there's comprehension questions, a couple of them on what you read, and then there's grammar lessons that coincide with the book and the topic of the book. There is also writing composition in Lightning Literature, and I really like the way that they approach composition. For my daughter, she's a very reluctant writer. She doesn't like writing. She likes to write when she wants to. She doesn't want to be forced to write a lot at a time. And so I knew that a gentle approach with writing is the best way for her, the least tear-inducing method. And so with the composition in this, it's broken down piece by piece, spread out over days. And so she's not having to write an entire paper or an entire story in one sitting. It's definitely broken apart. And there's a lot of brainstorming days and getting your thoughts together and that kind of thing before you actually write. And I think that that's been really good for her. I actually haven't had much pushback with the composition in this language arts program, so that's fabulous. The less pushback I have, the more joyful of experience it is. And so she's pushed back a little bit in some areas, but not very much, and she's completed the composition requirements as instructed, and it's just been an overall very pleasant experience so far. I will be doing a kind of like review and my thoughts on it a little bit further down the road after we've used it a little bit longer. I want to really kind of get into it and get a good routine with it and make sure before I kind of divulge my thoughts and opinions on it. But so far it's working really, really well, and it's fit into our homeschool very well. So we have not made any history changes. We're still using Knotgrass, Our Star-Spangled Story, and loving it. We have not made any science changes. We're still using Good and the Beautiful science units. We haven't done science as much this year so far, so we are still in our ecosystems unit that we began earlier this year. So we're just kind of slowly working through that. We've just been trying to find a balance and that sort of thing. We don't do science and history every day, do it like 1 to 2 times a week. So it definitely takes us longer to get through the units and that sort of thing. I should also mention that we like to do unit studies every so often, and so that kind of slows us down on our curriculum because a lot of times we'll have days of just unit study stuff. I just like being eclectic. I like to add different things in. I like to pick different pieces. You all know that about me. And so that hasn't changed. We do kind of, switch it up, do some different things. I think that keeps my kids engaged and not like the same old all the time. And so yeah, we've been really enjoying our year so far. I think that that's all that I have to really update you on as far as that goes. Yeah, things are going well. So that's all for this check-in. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will definitely be doing more check-ins as our year progresses. And so yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.